Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the 11 reasons you might not want to move to Nashville. And at the very end, we're going to go over the one reason that people hear the most why they shouldn't move here and why it's not actually true. So stick around. What's up everybody? This is Tiffany Gudger with Tiffany Gudger Real Estate right here in Nashville, Tennessee. If this is your first time to our channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. We get people reaching out to us all the time that are moving and relocating here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving here, relocating, or coming here for good, then make sure you go ahead and reach out, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. Will work for us. We're here on days, nights, weekends, however you want to get a hold of us. When you're moving to the Nashville area, we've got your back. So let's get started. So the first reason you might not want to move to Nashville is if you don't like tourists in your hometown, because we're full of them. So actually in 2019, there was a record-breaking 16.1 million tourists that year. We're also the #1 destination for bachelorette parties, which could be a good thing for some of you. But it creates a lot of long lines at restaurants, and sometimes it's hard to get into places. And when you're downtown, you'll see things like pedal taverns and tractors pulling bachelorette parties, and even things called mobile hot tubs, which kind of blows my mind. This kind of brings me to point number 2, which if you want to be somewhere with a low sales tax, Nashville might also not be for you. Here our sales tax is 9.25%, and it's because we have so many tourists coming that we use them to help pay for things. So we kind of make up for it though. We don't have any state income tax. We have relatively low property tax and car insurance and that kind of stuff. So you will pay 9.25% when you go to the store to buy something. However, you're not going to have state income tax or high property rates. So it kind of makes up for it and works itself out. So another reason you might not want to move to Nashville, or something that might make you nervous, is that the cost of living is actually going up here. In the grand scheme of things, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It means that a lot of businesses are also coming here, which provides more job opportunities, because at one point we had 100 people moving here every day. So we now have more companies moving here to accommodate, and there's a lot of suburb options that are still a little more affordable. We've done a video on that if you want to check that out as well. And it actually means that when you move here, your property value is going to continue to increase, which means that you will be growing equity in your home when you move here. So yes, the cost of living is increasing, and that could make some people nervous, but like I said, it's really not that bad. Reason number 4 you might want to rethink moving to Nashville is if you're planning on moving here without a car. So while we are a big city and there are a lot of walkable areas, you can't easily get from one side of the city to the other without a car. We don't have an awesome mass transit system. We do have buses, and there is a commuter train that comes from the east into town, but that's something hopefully they'll end up changing in the future. They've been working on trying to come up with a solution that makes everybody happy for mass transit, and just haven't been able to do it yet. We do have Uber and Lyfts, and those are easy to get. We have the little scooters, the electric scooters downtown that you can take places. But for the most part, if you're wanting to not have a car, Nashville might not be for you. But again, like previously mentioned, we do have a pretty low auto insurance rates. So if you're gonna come here, you're gonna wanna bring your car. This kind of rolls into reason number 5 you might wanna rethink Nashville. We have pretty bad traffic. It's mostly during commuter hours and sometimes on the weekend, again, because of all those tourists. But there is bad traffic here. And I understand that's all kind of relative. So if you're moving from LA or San Diego or San Francisco or somewhere like that, it's not even comparable. It's not as bad as those places. But if you're moving from somewhere without a lot of traffic, it does take some getting used to, again, especially during commuter hours, but we do have an HOV lane for people that carpool to work. So traffic here can be a little rough, but again, it's all relative. Kind of switching gears a little bit for reason number 6 is if you don't like humidity, Nashville might not be for you. In the summertime, it's beautiful here, but it's very humid. We are close to several bodies of water, and it just kind of sits here. Like, so when you walk outside, you're gonna be sweaty and sticky, and with the humidity, a 90-degree day can feel like 105. You know, we do have air conditioning here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee, and so it's not a huge deal, but just know that in the summertime, you're gonna want to find some ways to stay cool, like our water parks or our lakes or rivers and that kind of stuff, because it does get humid and super, super sticky. Okay, so this kind of brings us to reason number 7. You might not want to move to Nashville, and that's if you don't like bugs, because we've got them here. And me being from the South, I didn't even realize there were places that didn't have bugs like we do. So over the many years I've been doing real estate, that's something I've learned. We have wasps and the little mosquitoes that bite you. We have the big mosquitoes that don't actually bite you and don't bother you, and I call those pterodactyl bugs. We have, in the springtime, we have what's called stink bugs, and they don't actually spray you with anything that stinks. If you just squish them, sometimes they smell. And in the fall, we've got ladybugs that come out and visit. There's termites here in Tennessee, which can make some people nervous. But if you get a termite contract, like I talked to all my buyers about, then you don't really have anything to worry about. And for example, here at our house, we actually have a pest control contract. They come out quarterly. And if I see even just one bug around my house, in between when they come out and spray, they'll come back for free. So it's really not a big deal as long as you just manage it, wear your bug spray when you're out and about. But if you don't like bugs at all, Tennessee might not be for you. Sticking with that same theme, reason number 8 you might not want to move here is if you have super bad seasonal allergies or are nervous about potentially getting allergies. I've had allergies my entire life, and you just learn to deal with it. But here in Tennessee, we sit in kind of a bowl, and we're surrounded by lots of many acres of wooded lands, and so it kind of traps all the pollen and stuff here in Nashville and the surrounding areas. But we have lots of allergy clinics that are really good. You just might have to take a Claritin every day. Even my dog has been prescribed to take a allergy pill every day. So it is a real thing out here. You might wipe down your back patio and walk out the next day and it's covered with a layer of pollen. But the allergies here are pretty seasonal, and we've definitely figured out the best ways to combat them. So if you're worried about allergies, Nashville is definitely known to have them. I think we rank, I looked it up and it was 63rd, has the 63rd city in the country for the worst allergies. But like I said, I've had them my whole life and it's really not affected me, and I can give you some good advice on how to handle it when you get here. Rolling right into reason number 9 is kind of the snow. So we don't get a ton of snow. People from up north will probably laugh at us if they see how we handle it, but the city kind of shuts down when it snows. We don't get a ton, like I said, and so when we do, we're not super equipped to handle it very well, and places just kind of shut down for a day or two, schools and businesses, and we all just kind of hang out and have a snow party. So if being able to get around and do normal daily activities in the snow is a thing for you, that's something we don't do a lot of here. Like I said, we don't get a ton of snow, but when we do, it's pretty funny how it gets handled and I guess not handled. The roads are still pretty bad. People aren't really going anywhere. Things shut down. So if you're worried about having to go do things in the snow, Nashville might not be for you. So reason number 10 that you might want to reconsider Nashville is if you're wanting to be close to the beach. This might seem kind of obvious, but a lot of people end up coming here and don't realize the closest beach is probably like 7 hours away, which isn't that bad if you're going on an extended vacation, but if you are used to just taking a day trip to the beach, you can't really do that here. And likewise, we don't have a ton of really fresh seafood options. There are places that get it flown in and driven up from Louisiana and Florida, but overall, there's just not a ton of good seafood because we're 7 hours from the closest beach. There are places like markets that will drive to Louisiana and Florida like weekly or monthly to pick up fresh seafood, and you can pre-order it. So when they go get it and come back, you can go pick it up from the different markets. So it is an option to have at home. So it's not the end of the world. We can find you some seafood, but if you're wanting to take a day trip to the beach, you just can't do it here. However, that being said, we do have a couple lakes with some beach access. So it's not saltwater. We've got some freshwater lakes. We've got some water parks and different options like that. But we're not very close to the beach and don't have a ton of seafood. We do have a really nice airport that's picked up a lot of those really inexpensive, super quick little puddle jumper flights to different places in Florida and Alabama and Louisiana. So if you want to fly somewhere, it is super easy to get there. But just something you want to take note of, I guess, if you're used to going to the beach regularly. All right, so reason number 11 that you might want to just double think moving to Nashville is if you don't like being talked to in public. I'm sure you've heard by now all about the Southern hospitality that takes place here, and it is alive and well and thriving and a true thing. People hold doors, say hello and thank you and please and how's it going? They talk to you in the elevators. They let you over in front of them on the interstate. They don't honk at you if you don't go at a red light, which is actually pretty nice. But in general, people here are really nice and will talk to you. I've actually had a lot of clients coming from different places mention how surprised they were at how nice everybody is here and how friendly and welcoming. So if that's something that makes you uncomfortable, it's probably gonna happen here. People are generally pretty nice and just want to say, hey, and how's it going? So if you've made it to the end, the last thing I want to go over is the number one reason people think they shouldn't move to Nashville, and it's not actually true. And that is, if you don't like country music, people tell you you shouldn't move to Nashville. And I have a ton of friends that could care less about country music. We have so many different kinds playing. No matter what you're into, you can find a place that plays that type of live music, whether it's jazz or rock or classical or hip hop, all kinds of things. There's different venues all over throughout the city that play things other than country. Now, if you want to go to the honky tonks on Broadway, that is mostly what you're here, but even now they're starting to do a lot more oldies covers and rock covers and even rap covers down on Broadway. They're switching it up a little bit because I think they know that people that come here are really diverse and not everybody wants to hear country. So if you're afraid of moving here because you don't like country music, don't worry. That's not one of my reasons for you to not come here. So again, I hope this list helps you. My name's Tiffany Gudger. If you have any questions about any of these reasons or you're thinking about relocating here, please reach out. I would love to help. Shoot me a call, send me a text, however you want to get a hold of me. I'd love to help you, but you've got to reach out. That's the only way I'll know. So until our next video, you guys have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.